Our next guest, who not only leads the International Board of Directors for Special Olympics, but also comes from the family that started it all.
That is right, TJ. We have, of course, we all know Eunice Kennedy Shriver was the founder of the Special Olympics, and with the first International Special Olympics back in the 1960s, her son, Tim Shriver, is helping to continue her legacy over the past 50 years. Pretty remarkable. And Tim Shriver is here with us. We saw you yesterday, really inspiring the crowd, and you could just see your passion. And as we mentioned, your mother, back in the 1960s, began this all. What was her vision at the time, and how has that vision evolved over the years?
Well, I think, look, she saw these things quite simply in some ways. She saw injustice, she saw discrimination, she saw bad political policy, she saw isolation, she saw parents struggling mightily. And she thought maybe what we should focus on is the possible, the gifts, the hope, the dream of a fully inclusive culture. So she started this, and she used the most audacious brand she could use for the most humble and forgotten people, Olympic. And I don't think the IOC kind of completely understood what was going on at the time, but there it was, Special Olympics, the idea that the people who are the most vulnerable amongst us, the most forgotten, could be celebrated as having the greatest gifts. For 53 years, this movement has done really just that. It's so remarkable to watch these volunteers go to places where people are chained and unchain them, go to institutions where people are locked away and free them, go to families where people are isolated and depressed. Our volunteers go year after year and say, come on, we want to create a culture of welcome. That's her legacy.
You said welcome and inclusion. There are a number of ways to go about it, maybe a foundation, maybe legislation, maybe all kinds of things. Why is sports? Why is sports such a good
Well, first
way
of all,
to go
she
about
was a rebel, you know, and my mom was an athlete when women weren't supposed to be athletes. She was a political force of nature when women weren't supposed to be in politics. She was a gladiator for social justice when that was mostly the domain of men. I think she saw sports as the place where people could see gifts. You know, a lot of our country today is focused on what's wrong, and there's a reason why we're focused so much on what's wrong. My mom saw what was wrong, but she also wanted people to see what was possible. And she always would say that people with intellectual disabilities, when they're on the playing field, they show you what they can do. They'll prove to you their gifts, their value, their merit, their dignity. They'll prove to you that you shouldn't be discriminating. You won't have to be taught it. You won't have to be hit over the head with it. You'll feel it. You'll see it. You'll want to be a part of it. I think sport was the big game changer that she saw as being the possible way to make our country change.
And it is so beautiful to watch these athletes because they are tenacious. Yeah. They have trained so hard, and they really feel their own power, and it's infectious. It's a beautiful thing. So her vision, amazing. She put it into action, and now, 53 years later, what has the impact been on the world and at the local level?
Well, I like to always come back to the impact that local people are creating. We're in 190 countries, but 99% of the workforce is volunteers. So what does that tell us? That tells us that anyone watching this right now, anyone involved in any kind of cause, can be an agent of change. The volunteers of this movement run over 100,000 games a year. We're the largest healthcare organization in the world because doctors now volunteer. Right behind us, there are dozens, hundreds of doctors who are volunteering to do health screenings, fit hearing aids, provide glasses, prosthetics, the whole 9 yards. So this work in schools, teachers are volunteering to create unified teams. My vision is that you won't find an American high school where you don't have a boys basketball team and a girls basketball team and a Special Olympics unified basketball team. Every school in America. And when those varsity letters are given out and when the bands play and the cheerleaders cheer, you'll see the Division I athletes come in, and you'll see the Division III athletes, and you'll see the Special Olympics athletes go through. And the place will rise in cheers, and a generation will grow up with their hearts and their minds opened to the possibility of everyone's gift.
Well, we have seen and witnessed a lot of gifts down here, and for folk, look, this will be on and covered, but how important is it also you encourage people, the support you all need is you need eyeballs, you need people to make sure they watch these stories and these competitions.
Watch ABC.
There it is.
Yeah.
Love it.
Is that the line? No, look, ESPN has been fantastic, has put us on a par with other sports. When you go to watch the NBA or the NFL, you'll see former athletes. When you go to watch Special Olympics, you'll hear from former athletes commenting on the games.
That's great.
It's bringing the sports message to America's home so you can see that our athletes are the best athletes in the world.
And you're a great cheerleader, Tim.
I hope everybody will choose to include. That's our hope.
Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it, and it has been an honor to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you all for
so much.
being here.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.